Imagine Rome, not the Rome of the invincible legions or divine emperors. Imagine the Rome of everyday life, that of the people. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel if you like these videos and leave a like. Now let's start. Do you think your life is hard? Imagine opening your eyes in ancient Rome in the year 235 AD, in the midst of the 3rd century crisis. Forget your cell phone, air conditioning, or a decent sandwich. Here, your breakfast is mush that tastes like sand. Your bathroom, a sponge that's seen more butts than a subway seat. And your leader, he might be dead before lunch. The Roman Empire is crumbling, with more cracks than a broken vase. Emperors fall faster than likes on a viral post. Plagues turn cities into open-air morgues, and money is worth less than a bad joke. Let's go back a moment. In 193 AD, the Severan dynasty came to power with Septimius Severus, a tough military man who stabilized the empire after years of intrigue. But his successors, like Caracalla and Elagabalus, they did not inherit his talents. Caracalla massacred thousands to remain on the throne, while Elagabalus, an eccentric teenager, held orgies and declared random objects to be gods. When Alexander Severus, the last of the Severi, took power in 222, the empire was already in the balance. He was young, idealistic, more interested in peace treaties than bloodbaths, something that did not fit the Roman mentality, where strength was everything. His mother, Julia Mamaea, ruled from behind the scenes. When she persuaded him to pay the Germanic tribes instead of fighting them, the soldiers rebelled. In 235, a knife to the throat ended them both. Rome was left without an emperor, without a plan, and without hope. The crisis of the 3rd century begins a storm that almost wiped Rome off the map. Without a clear leader, the throne became a game of musical chairs with daggers. Over the next 50 years, more than 20 emperors took over, some lasting less than an episode of your favorite series. Historians call them barracks emperors because it was the army that decided who was in charge, and their loyalty was as fragile as a soggy biscuit. They were not philosophers or statesmen, but soldiers with huge biceps, oversized egos, and zero experience. Imagine electing the president because he won a weightlifting contest, and then killing him because you don't like his playlist. Maximinus Thrax, a giant of over 7 feet tall, took power in 235. It was said that he could knock out a horse with one punch. His reign was a shambles. In 238, he was torn to pieces by his own soldiers before he even entered Rome. Then came Gordian I and the second, father and son. They ruled for a month. The son died. In battle, the father hanged himself. Balbinus and Pupienus, with names from a comedy, were murdered by the guards. Gordian III lasted until 244, then was killed. Philip the Arab was overthrown by Decius, who died in battle. His son died of the plague. Gallus and his son Volusianus were killed by their soldiers. Being emperor was like walking into an arena with a "hit me" sign. The empire falls apart. While the emperors played who would die first, the empire bled dry. Civil wars broke out as if they were a fashion. The provinces ignored Rome. The enemies, Germans, Persians, Goths, thought, "It is time to invade." In the chaos, Rome ceased to be one. In the West, the Gallic Empire took Gaul, Britain, Hispania, Germany. In the East, Queen Zenobia of Palmyra took Syria, Egypt, and Asia Minor. They were not rebels, they were rival empires, taking advantage of the chaos. Without money, the emperors devalued the currency by mixing silver with lead and bronze. The money looked like scrap. Inflation exploded. In the morning, your salary bought a loaf of bread. In the evening, not even a grape. Barter returned because coins were a joke. Soldiers raided villages for food. Farmers were conscripted, leaving fields abandoned. Hunger spread faster than gossip. Then came the plague of Cyprian. Vomiting, blindness, gangrene, falling fingers. 5,000 people died a day in Rome. Alexandria lost more than half its population. Christians were blamed, but gained followers because they healed the sick and buried the dead. The plague shattered confidence in the empire. Rome was a staggering boxer waiting for the final blow. Food, hygiene, and language, survival was a miracle. Food for the poor was a punishment disguised as a meal. Barley porridge, pulse, sometimes lentils or leeks. Garum, a sauce made from fermented fish innards, was the Roman ketchup, but it stank enough to raise the dead. The rich, on the other hand, feasted on flamingo tongues, brains, and sea urchins. Hygiene? Public toilets had no doors, no privacy, and a shared sponge on a stick tersorium. The baths looked like a spa, but the water was never changed. Olive oil replaced soap, and the strigil scratched the skin. Too hard and you would get sores like Augustus. Latin was a trap. Get a grammatical case wrong, and the dog bites the man becomes the man bites the dog. In court, a linguistic mistake could condemn you to death. Slaves were the backbone of the economy. Miners, servants, prostitutes, gladiators. No rights. A master could kill you for a broken plate. Manumission was rare. Many were sold to the games, where death was almost certain. Women, though theoretically free, lived under the authority of a man. Poor women worked themselves to exhaustion. Married women died in childbirth before the age of 30. Even powerful women, like Zenobia, had to struggle in a world hostile to female power. Blood as entertainment. The Colosseum was the heart of brutality. Gladiators fought for survival. Public executions were warm-ups. Chariot races at the Circus Maximus were deadly spectacles. For the Romans, violence was an outlet, a way to forget the collapsing world. In 270 AD, Aurelian arrived, a soldier without charisma, but with a talent for victory. He defeated barbarians and the Palmyrene Empire, captured Zenobia. He reunited the empire in 275. He was killed by his own men. In 284, Diocletian took power and divided the empire into east and west. He created the Tetrarchy, 4 rulers, reformed the economy and the army. His changes gave the empire breathing space, but did not erase the scars. Think you can make it in 3rd century Rome? Between shared bathrooms full of germs, plagues that make your eyes bleed, a Latin trap, and the constant threat of gladiators or barbarians. You wouldn't last a day. Rome was a place where survival was a miracle and death a daily occurrence. That's all for today. If you like these videos, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And what do you think about the life of a Roman? Let me know in the comments. See you next time. Bye.